How did Hollywood actor Richard Dreyfuss offend an entire crowd of liberals after he came out on stage wearing a dress? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about 76-year-old Hollywood actor Richard Dreyfuss offending an entire crowd of liberals at a theater in Massachusetts after he came out on stage wearing a dress and said a few things about LGBT and women and inclusion and whatnot. Now, first things first, a little bit of context. This was a screening of the original 1975 Jaws movie, and after the screening, he was there for a Q&A with the crowd because obviously he was in the first Jaws movie as Hooper. And if you have not seen the first one or you want a reminder, that's him back in the 70s. And by the way, this is a Steven Spielberg directed movie. That's him right there back in 1975. All right. So he's out there for a Q&A, but he said a few things that offended people. Now, my question when I first heard about it was, okay, he came out wearing a dress. Isn't that what they want? What's the problem? What's the big deal? Now, there's a lot we got to get into, okay? What we're going to see right here is the beginning when he came out on stage. Now, there's sound, but I'm not going to play the sound because there's music in the background and I don't want to get a copyright. Now, you see my man wearing the dress with a cane and doing some kind of sachet and whatnot, all right? Now, obviously, it's not just a dress. He has on kind of like the Hooper outfit right here a little bit. He has on a regular pair of pants and shoes, and now we're using the cane as a golf club and the shirt with a regular hat, okay? And you see he has his regular clothes right there, a jacket and whatnot. Now here comes the theater audience, the theater staff, pardon me, take the dress off of him, and then he's able to just kind of get into his regular clothes. Now, I don't know why he came out wearing a dress, what that's all about. Maybe that's that whole boomer Gen X thing of cross-dressing, becoming Transformers. I don't understand, but different story. I digress. You would think that'll get the liberal crowd riled up. They be on this side. Yay for inclusion. Yay for cross-dressing and all this and that. All right. Now he's putting the dress in his mouth for whatever the reason may be. I don't understand what's going on. Hollywood actors do and say quite a bit. Now, this goes on for a little while. This kind of performance. Then he puts on the regular coat. And after he puts the coat on and then he gets the microphone and he's able to talk, there's a few things that he says that really, really offend the crowd. All right. Now, I'll leave that right there. Let's get to what he said, according to some of the people that were there in the audience. We're going to get back to that particular video in a moment because it's kind of hard to hear. All right. Let's just read some of this right here. Somebody was there, the girlfriend's mom, sister, auntie, whatever. Somebody was there and they said that he said this. He went off the rails talking about how Barbara Streisand is a genius, but he didn't listen to her because she is a woman and women shouldn't have that power. Then started sharing his views on the Me Too movement and started down the road on how you shouldn't be listening to some 10-year-old who says they want to be a boy instead of a girl. I don't really see nothing that's really that wrong with that part. Jesus Christ, what an explosion. Crowd was shouting at him and most walked out before the movie even started. Talk about the movie A-Hole. We never made it to that. Quote, she's brilliant, but an idiot. You know, women are so passive. That's why the movie sucked, unquote. Also, Steven Spielberg is a genius, but an idiot. And Close Encounters only worked because he convinced Spielberg to hire him instead of Gene Hackman for the part. All right. And there's more here. Now, there was an apology. The theater, the Cabo Mass Theater in Beverly, Massachusetts, they issued an apology. They said, I am writing to address an important matter concerning that night's event with Richard Dreyfuss at the Cabo. We deeply regret that Mr. Dreyfuss's comments during the event were not in line with the values of inclusivity and respect that we uphold at the Cabo. We understand that his remarks are distressing and offensive to many of our community members, and for that, we sincerely apologize. At the Cabo, we are committed to fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment for all members of our community. Views expressed by Mr. Dreyfuss do not reflect our beliefs, and we do not endorse them in any way. We take full responsibility for the oversight and not anticipating the direction, the conversation, and for any discomfort it caused. All right. Now let's go back to this video right here. Again, it's going to be kind of hard to hear, but this is when he kind of gets into a few things that people get offended by. And after we get done watching this, we're going to see a video from last year that's a little bit more clear, in which he really talks about his views about inclusion and LGBT and Me Too and all this and that and the third. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So look it up, check it out. Richard, why don't you tell them the name of your new book and what the mission statement is, what the purpose of the book is.
The book is called One Thought Scares Me. And it's about the fact that 50 years ago, without telling anybody, they took civics out of the curriculum of all public schools in America, which means we have no knowledge of who the hell we are.
So if you can't hear what he's saying, basically, he has a new book coming out. And one thing he addressed was how public schools took civics out of the curriculum. So you got a bunch of these kids coming out that have no idea who the H we are. All right, let's keep on going.
And if we don't get it back soon, we're all going to die.
Yeah, and if we don't get it back soon, we're all going to die. That's pretty morbid. It's pretty dire. And he got some applause for that one. So I guess not everybody's offended at what he said. That's that. Now let's get to the older video from a couple, like, this is last year. This is last year, talking about inclusivity and whatnot. Again, this is 2023, but it's kind of along the same lines of what he was talking about recently at the theater that made the theater apologize to the patrons who walked out triggered and butthurt and whatnot over what he said. Check it out.
Starting in 2024, films will be required to meet new inclusion standards to be eligible for the Academy Awards for Best Picture. They'll have to have a certain percentage of actors or crew from underrepresented racial and ethnic groups. What do you think of these new inclusion standards for films?
Quotas, racial quotas, racist things. Now, before he begins, I'm not in favor of any kind of racism, whether it's against whites, blacks, Puerto Ricans, candy stripes. I'm not a racist person. I don't believe in racism. Okay. And just because it's against one group, not the other, does not negate the fact that it's racism. All right. You want to be a private company, hire people, that's your decision, and it shouldn't be trifled with by the government, and it most certainly shouldn't be a thing that's mandated by the government along racial lines.
They make me vomit.
Why?
Because this is an art form. It's also a form of commerce, and it makes money, but it's an art. And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. And what are we risking? Are we really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that.
You cannot legislate that at all. What he's saying is right on point, but a lot of these liberals are not going to like it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and defend him as a person completely because I don't know everything about him. But what he's saying right here is right on point. And I challenge anybody to find fault with what he's saying.
And you have to let life be life. And I'm sorry, I don't think that there's a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that. You know, Laurence Olivier was the last white actor to play Othello. And he did it in 1965. And he did it in blackface. And he played a black man brilliantly. Am I being told that I will never have a chance to play a black man?
Yep, pretty much. Blackface right now, 2024, it ain't going to happen. Except for Robert Downey Jr. when you play Tropic Thunder. That wasn't really a big deal. I wonder why that wasn't a big deal. Like, why that's not really a thing that got him canceled. It's weird how Hollywood is.
Someone else being told that if they're not Jewish, they shouldn't play The Merchant of Venice.
Wait. Whoa. Now, see, you touching that third rail. They're not going to like that.
Crazy? Do we not know that art is art? This is so patronizing. It's so thoughtless and treating people like children.
Do you think there's a difference between the question of representation and who?
Well, there's more to this. I don't want to play the entire thing. I'll link to it in the box, but you kind of get what's going on. You get what's going on. People are offended. Again, the video I just showed, the last one for PBS, that was from 2023, last year. And the most recent one that happened just like the other day in Massachusetts, people got offended and walked out because he was saying some anti-LGBT and anti-woman allegedly things in front of the crowd. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody that is able to speak their mind and get their opinions and thought process out there without being censored, without having to conform. It's like, whatever you want to say, go ahead. And as far as what he was talking about, as far as the actors and the quotas and the art form, is right on point. It's right on point, and I challenge anybody to really find fault with what he said. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts on Richard Dreyfuss coming out in the dress and addressing the crowd, saying a few things, and people getting defended and walking out in the theater having to apologize? And also the comments from 2023 in the PBS interview. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. What he said was right on point. I don't really see too much wrong with what he said at all. And, you know, it's not really that serious when you're talking about art. Look, if the art sucks, people don't like it, then that should be the barometer. So if a guy goes out there in blackface, people say, hey, you know what, this sucks, I don't like it, and the movie tanks, that there is your barometer. That's how you judge it. It shouldn't be a mandate from the government or some kind of outside external force. No, let people put out the art they want to put out, and let the people who are consuming the art be the judge of whether it's good or not. That's the way it should be. And I say the same thing for other things like minimum wage and whatnot. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.